Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2. Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Wednesday. Means we're brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Got Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. Fired up you were here with us. Matthew Brune will be along in 15 minutes. LSU got thumped in Gainesville last night. We'll talk a little bit about that. It's What If Wednesday. If you got some what ifs, hit us with those. Close out the hour with our friends from Oxford. Dr. Jeremy Burnham will be along with us in 45 minutes. Hour number 2, J.D. Bickel, kind of putting a wrap on college football. Got some Saints that we want to talk about, some contract extensions that will be upcoming or potentially not for New Orleans. We'll discuss all of that. So lots and lots to do. Let's crank it up the way we do every single day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
All right, let's talk some football. Obviously, the big news of the day is that LSU has added Princewill Umanmielen to its signing class. We have discussed Umanmielen significantly over the last week, so I don't think I have to break down his game. But obviously, a big add for LSU to get a proven edge rusher in the Southeastern Conference, get a guy that led Ole Miss in sacks with 9 of them, that did so in some of the biggest moments of their season. He's a really talented player. He is at a position of great need. LSU did not rush the passer well this past year. And Umanmielen comes in and has 1 year to make an impact in Baton Rouge. And that's really where I want to start. I sensed this from doing research on LSU's transfer portal class, but it wasn't something I could put a number behind until this morning when I went and put a number behind it. It felt like to me that LSU was not adding very many seniors to be in this transfer portal class. It felt like a lot of the guys they were adding have significant eligibility remaining. If you remember, this time last year, LSU signed the biggest transfer portal class in its history with 18. And of those 18, you had 8 that were entering their final season of eligibility. Jack Pyburn, Patrick Payton, Jamari Butler, Barian Brown, A.J. Halsey, Josh Thompson, Bauer Sharp, Bernard Gooden. These guys came in. This is it. And, if you look at that list of guys, you got really quality production from them. Jack Pyburn was a starter for you and played really well against the run. Patrick Payton played a ton of snaps for LSU. Jamari Butler, once Gabe Relaford got hurt, was an integral part to what LSU was doing on the edge. Those 3 guys played a lot. Barian Brown, for a bad passing game, was out there a lot. Made play on special teams. He was out there and contributed on a bad offense. A.J. Halsey was a star. Josh Thompson played more snaps than anybody on your offense. Bauer Sharp was your inline tight end. Bernard Gooden was among the best defensive linemen you had. You didn't miss on any of those guys, but you brought them in to fill a need for a season. They're gone. It was 44% of your signing class last year. 44% were 1-year players by rule. They couldn't come back. Now, I'm not dense enough to believe that all the players that LSU has signed with additional eligibility beyond 2026 are going to stay at LSU. I'm aware of that. So, keep that in mind as I discuss the flexibility and potential stability that this portal class brings LSU. I know they can all leave. We're all aware of that. So I'm not missing the boat on this, but I'm just, there are options here. There are no options for Jack Pyburn. The option for Jack Pyburn was come to LSU, play a year, go try the NFL. The option for Barian Brown, come to LSU, play 1 year, go to the NFL. At least a massive number of this signing class that LSU has brought in the transfer portal has options. Princewill Umanmielen is the 41st member of this class. 41. Do you know how many are out of eligibility after this year? 5. 5 of 41 will be out of eligibility after this year. Umanmielen, as we mentioned, TJ Daugherty, who comes from Ole Miss. He led the SEC in tackles this past year. Ali Uba, who was a 2-year starter at Maryland on the offensive line. Jace Brown, fastest player in Kansas State history to 1,000 yards, set the all-time sophomore receiving record at Kansas State. And Ty Benefield, who has accumulated 233 tackles in 3 seasons at Boise. 2 times he's led that team. So you look at the guys they brought in who are out of eligibility after this year. It's Ole Miss's sack leader, the SEC's tackle leader, a 2-year starter at Maryland on the offensive line, the fastest player in Kansas State history to 1,000 yards, and a guy who made 250-ish tackles at Boise State. These are plug-and-play players. Umanmielen's going to start. Daugherty's going to start. Ba's going to start. Brown's going to start. Benefield's going to start. These 5 guys are going to start. But there are 36 beyond that. And they all have options to return. It's pretty clear that Lane Kiffin is comfortable at the end of a season, in December into January, going heavy on the portal. Like that's pretty clear. His staff is comfortable doing that. But life gets a lot easier if you can add guys with options. And you can keep some people around and you can create some sense of stability. There's not a lot of stability in collegiate athletics right now, but if you can create some of it, you're ahead of the game. Bringing in 41 guys, not a lot of stability, but it's a coaching change. However, you keep some of these guys around 1 year, 2 years, all of a sudden, you smooth the seas a little bit. I ran the numbers I mentioned. 1 year remaining, there's 5 guys in the 41 that have 1 year of eligibility remaining. They're out of here. 16 have 2 years of eligibility. And 13 have 3 years of eligibility. That is 29 of the 41 that are rising sophomores or juniors, which means in a lot of different cases, you've got significant playing time, but options to return. I think about Stephylan Green on the offensive line. The defensive line from Clemson. Played for 2 years at Clemson. I think about Sam Leavitt, your quarterback. If Sam Leavitt's not at LSU in 2027, things probably went pretty well in 2026. Probably. He's probably an NFL draft pick. But he could be LSU's quarterback for 2 more years. I look at Jordan Ross from Tennessee, edge rusher who hasn't blossomed to his potential. He's played for Tennessee for 2 years, but he's got 2 more years. He might explode this year. 11 sacks, first-round pick. It's possible. That's his pedigree, but he's got 2 years of eligibility remaining. I look at a guy like Malik Blockton, who has played for Auburn, has been a starter at Auburn on the defensive line. He's got 2 years left. Sean Tompkins, offensive lineman, Baylor, started for them. He's got 2 years left. Devin Harper from Ole Miss, 4 years left. He just redshirted at Ole Miss, 4 years. Fahim Delane, Mansour's younger brother, 3 years of eligibility remaining. Like, you get the point. The point is, you have got a lot of guys who could theoretically be in this program moving forward. I knew that was the case based on writing these stories when they commit. I just didn't have a number for it. And I'm not sure I knew it was this overwhelming. For LSU to have signed 18 guys last year and 44% be in their final year, in this class to have 41 in it, and you've got 5, that's loud. Now, we'll see if LSU can keep everybody happy and keep everybody around. And we'll see, maybe it's just not realistic to think that you can keep significant continuity. We say this all the time. You are in an era in collegiate athletics, you are not program building, you are roster building. That goes for Jay Johnson at Alec Box. That goes for Kim Mulkey in the PMAC. That goes for Lane Kiffin in Tiger Stadium. You are not program building, you're team building. It's just easier to build a team when you start with 70 guys instead of 40 guys. Stands to reason. If you want to read a little bit more about this, I've got a piece up at louisianasports.net, but I feel like you've got a chance to really steady things, and they've been so unsteady now for 4 years. And maybe that's wishful thinking, and I admit that up front. And we'll know. We'll know next December if this was wild or if this was the right way to think about it. Because I will remember this time next year, okay, they signed 41 kids last year. Like, how many times did we rattle off Brian Kelly's scholarship numbers exiting that first Texas Bowl before he became the head coach? Like, we talked about that for 3 years. Like, we'll all know this was a 41-man class. I'm curious, of the 36 that have options to return, how many can? How many do they get back? Is it 30 or is it 11? And if it's one of those real extremes, you'll know, like, well, you can't count on any continuity whatsoever. Or, yeah, if you can get some guys into your program that have multiple years, that's probably a better investment than going heavy and signing 20 guys in their last year. I mentioned these guys going in their last year are probably starters. And you've got to get some of those guys. They're proven commodities. But getting some guys younger that have more flexibility could be it seems like it was very intentional for LSU this year. Could be a really good way to do things moving forward. We'll have to see. That's our opening drive. It is brought to you by our friends at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. All right, LSU goes to the O-Dome last night. Just got thumped. Florida's a really good team. They annihilated LSU on the glass. We'll talk with Matthew Brune about it when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Renaissance Homes and Pools, builtbyrenaissance.com, builtbyrenaissance.com. That's the website. You know, you can go to that website, builtbyrenaissance.com, and reach out to Joey Blanchard, the owner. Give him your contact information. Tell him what you're looking for. He'll get right back to you. It's probably the easiest way to make things happen. If you're looking to get into that pool for the spring, the summer that are coming, you've always wanted that dream pool, whether it's a huge family-style pool, big resort-style pool, or just a small cocktail pool. No matter what you're looking for, Joey Blanchard and his team at Renaissance Homes and Pools can make it happen. And if you want to start that conversation in the dead of the winter like we are right now, it's about to be freezing this weekend, it's a great time to do it because it means that you can get a shovel in the ground pretty quickly and you can have that pool ready to go for spring and summer that we know are always right around the corner. So check them out at builtbyrenaissance.com. Enter your contact information. Let Joey get back to you. Get that consultation, that design meeting the whole way through. The owner of that company, Joey Blanchard, will be with you start to finish. It's Renaissance Homes and Pools, builtbyrenaissance.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith, If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Lot Mayor Sean Fagan and Associates.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Checking out the Bayou Ford chat. One of our listener says, so this guy has the word Prince in his name, huh? His nickname must be Prince. Well, that's tricky because his name is Princewill. And so you would think, well, Prince might be a nickname, but his brother's Prince Lee. So you can't go double Prince on that. There's got to be a differentiation. I think it's the end of the names. I think you have to say Princewill. With similar names there. I respect it. Two really good football players. And LSU has the younger one coming this way for 2026. Let's transition over to basketball. Matthew Brune covers the Tigers for the Bengal Tiger, part of the On3 team. Joins us on Wednesdays. Matthew, how are you, man?
Hey, Hunt. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Look, I'm not. I was not surprised watching the game last night. I'm imagining you were not either. Did you have any hope that LSU was going to stick in the game with Florida last night?
Not really. I was high on this Florida team going into the season, and then they struggled out of the gates a bit. You know, started 5-4. They were unranked for a while, but it was very clear. I mean, with that front court that they have, it's the same front court that just won a national championship. They've struggled with the guard play this whole year, but the front court has been, I mean, still very, very good, and it was elite last night. I mean, 24-7 offensive rebounding edge. I wasn't too surprised. The biggest positive for LSU is that Thomas was back and he was at least out there moving around for 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, 17 minutes for DJ Thomas. Obviously didn't shoot it very well. Didn't turn it over, just out 3 assists. But, I mean, how big a deal is it to get him back on the floor?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, we've talked about it at length and just how he makes everybody else tick around him. And I thought while he was on the court, they actually had some good offensive possessions. You saw sometimes where he hit Nwoko on the short roll and they'd have to rotate. He'd find an open man for three, or he, would take care of the ball in a way that, just Max McKinnon and Jalen Reese just can't really take care of the ball in that way, and it leads to easy points for the other team. So if nothing else, you have a guy who takes care of the ball and at least puts his teammates in position to be successful. Obviously, there were things outside of his control that, cost LSU the game, but it was good for him to at least get out there and get his feet wet.
Did you learn anything positive about LSU's team or players with Thomas out that can be used now that he's back?
I want to say yes, and I know, if you ask McMahon this question, he would say yes. But honestly, I think he is such a difference maker, and this team was built around him in such a way that I don't know how much positives I can take from the last 5 games or 4 games. I think you need him in order for Markel Sutton to really be himself. I know he had some good games, but for Sutton to be himself, for Nwoko to be himself, I will say, Rob Miller started flashing the past few games, so that's a positive. And I think Rashad King, with his extended minutes, has at least been not a negative in his play. So, those are probably the two, but I think in the big picture, in the grand scheme, there's nothing here that you're like, okay, well, we learned this, and now that Thomas is back, now they have, a 3-headed monster. They're really going to hit the ground running here. No, you need Thomas to be elite, and you need everybody to play off of him. All
right, well, I guess we'll take the sunshines and bouquets away. They are 1-5 5. 1-5, and they're going to Fayetteville, where teams are getting their butts kicked at the current juncture. So I don't have high hopes for Saturday. We'll see what happens. But like, is there any way they can come out of this?
Come out of the Arkansas game specifically, or come out this season?
Can they make a run in the second half and play meaningful basketball in late February and push toward a tournament berth?
So I still, and I don't know if I talked to you about this last week or not, but the last 11 games on the schedule after this Arkansas game are extremely manageable. Like if you just look at the SEC and you look at, they got Mississippi State, South Carolina, Texas teams, not great.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, like an A&M team that they should have beaten without Thomas. Like I'm just looking at it, and it has to be so frustrating for McMahon, because you look at the SEC and it's exactly what we said it was going to be a month ago, where it's not a lot of great teams. It's the ups and downs. The Florida's really good, Vanderbilt's really good, and Arkansas, that's maybe the top 3, in Alabama. Everybody else is, you don't really know. So it's possible, and that's the only reason why we're not firing up the hot board over at On3 yet or anything like that, because it's like, it wouldn't shock me if they, in the last 11 games, go 7-4 or 6-5 at the least. Like if they make a run there, then it gets interesting. And Joe Lunardi still thinks, and a lot of rating systems still have LSU as a top 50 team in the country right now. So it's hard, but I do think that there is a chance still that they make a run in the back end.
When we look back at the non-conference before Thomas got hurt, the two games that really stand out are Texas Tech and SMU. You follow those two programs a little bit from afar, but certainly know what they're up to. And as I've watched them play in conference play, I'm going, those are two pretty good basketball teams. LSU got dusted by one of them, and then they handled themselves against SMU. Like, what does that tell you now that we've got a little bit more conference information on those two teams?
Yeah, Texas Tech is going to be really, really good the entire year. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they make an Elite Eight, maybe even a Final Four run. But the SMU win is still going to hold a lot of weight. SMU's up to, I think it's 33rd or 31 in KenPom right now. So they're continuing to climb. They'll continue to get wins in the ACC because they've already played Duke and Clemson. So they've already had a couple tough games there. But if SMU continues to win, that could be a top 30 win. It's already a quad 1 win. And then, like I said, the back half of this schedule, it's more than half. It's the last 11 games after this Arkansas game. You look at it and say, all right, if they can go 7-4 and get to that 8-10 record, is that enough? And I think I'd be curious to see, just like in what we see with college football with that committee, where they try to take injuries into account. Do they take into account, all right, well, they didn't have Thomas for the first 6 games. How do they weigh that? There's a lot of different variables here, but obviously they're going to have to play. They're going to play their best basketball over the last month and a half of the season.
What do you know about Arkansas?
They're very good. I went into the year high on them and high on Florida, and so LSU obviously has them back to back. I was also high on Bama. We'll see how they continue to progress. We'll see if this Bediako situation goes through. But Arkansas. I'm looking now at the number 5 offense in the country, and just the amount of times I've watched them and just been blown away by these freshmen of Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas. Trevon Brazile on the inside is a real dude. They're not as big as Florida. They don't rebound. Nobody's as big as Florida, but they have the guards that McKinnon and Thomas and King and these guards for LSU will have to be. They'll have to match them. Really, I think we've seen time and time again, like. You can't, outside of Nwoko, it's going to be these guards that are going to have to carry you between Thomas and McKinnon, and then you see what Sutton can give you on a daily basis. It's still a good team, but now it has to come together. The urgency is there.
How do you think they are mentally right now, where they're standing in conference play and after getting beat back by Florida that badly?
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like I shouldn't say every year, but a lot of the years where McMahon has had these teams that have struggled and stuff like that, we're always like, all right, are they going to quit? Are they going to fold? And they just keep fighting. Like that's the one persisting thing. Like even from McMahon, haters and people who are like, it's over. And I understand people are frustrated with it. It's still like when you just watch them. Now I know they got blown out last night, but like they continue to play and they continue to play hard, and you're like, damn, like they're not giving up. And this is one of the oldest teams, I think, in the SEC. So I expect McKinnon, Nwoko, Thomas, all these guys to continue to compete. I'm not worried about the effort side. Now it's about execution for them.
He is Matthew Brune with the Bengal Tiger. One more question on the women. Seems like Kim's really got them playing a lot better than they did in those first 2 SEC games. What have you taken from their last 2 weeks?
Yeah, they're hitting their stride. They're getting their swagger back. They're playing just really, really well. I mean, especially offensively. They're able to go at teams with so many different combinations. Jada Richard's been awesome. Pull Wiley off the bench. Michaela and Flage seem like they're just taking turns right now. And then the front court, they just match up with everybody really well. So that was a great win against Oklahoma by whatever it was, 20-plus points on the road. So they're hitting their stride. They're a top 5 team in the country, and I'm excited to see if they can. I mean, they should be able to keep it rolling. The schedule lightens up quite a bit.
You can read about it all over there at the Bengal Tiger on 3. Matthew Brune with us on Wednesdays talking a little bit of hoops. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Hunt.
Always enjoy our conversations with Matthew talking hoops. I knew what this week was going to be for LSU men's basketball. It's going to be a disaster. They're going to get smoked again on Saturday because they're not good enough to go to Gainesville or Fayetteville and win. So the question is, at 1-6, do they have anything to start throwing punches with? We'll see. We'll find out next week. But this week was always going to be a disaster. It started as a disaster last night, and we'll see what they can do when they relace them up next week after Arkansas handles them on Saturday, because I'm confident that's coming as well. Our Wednesday shows brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. You can find them builtbyrenaissance.com. Builtbyrenaissance.com. When we come back, we'll do some What If Wednesday. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing. You can find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com. They are so thrilled as of January the 1st, so now 3 weeks ago, to be able to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. Lifetime workmanship warranty. You just don't hear about that. It's the difference. It's why you should go with the folks at Lifetime Roofing. It's a local company. They're part of this community. They care about this community. I was talking with them a couple of weeks ago, and they know that when something happens that causes a significant amount of damage to roofs throughout the area, whether it's a tornado, hail, hurricane, y'all know the situations that happen. They know that a lot of roofers will come in and start signing people up, just taking names. That's not what you're going to see the folks at Lifetime Roofing doing. They're actually going to show up and help. Last time there was a tornado up in Kentwood, they brought their team up there with chainsaws to get ready to help. They brought a food truck in there because they care about the community. Yeah, they'd like to help you with your roof, but they're Baton Rouge and South Louisiana folks, and they're here to help Baton Rouge and South Louisiana folks. And they're going to do that with a lifetime workmanship warranty. You can go with a lot of different options in the roofing game. Go with a local company that cares. Go with somebody that can give you a lifetime workmanship warranty. Go with somebody who can help you with financing. Lifetime Roofing can help you do that. They're online at lifetimeroofingla.com. Lifetimeroofingla.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, Call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays, a $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $150 on restorative treatment. Schedule today at hooddentalcare.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. It's time to kickstart 2026, right? The folks at Auctioner have got some great goals for you. We got it with a little acronym, SMART, S-M-A-R-T. Set some specific goals when it comes to your wellness in 2026, like running a 5K, maybe adding a couple pounds of muscles. M, make them measurable. Track your workouts, time your runs, log how many reps you're able to do in the gym. A, keep them achievable. Don't jump into something crazy that you've never done before that's 7 days a week at 4 in the morning. Make it achievable. Set a realistic goal that works with your lifestyle. Those small changes are far more likely to stick. And then choose a time frame. That's what T is. It's a target date that can keep you motivated. So SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and a time frame. Remember, when you're thinking about your wellness in 2026, small wins matter. Celebrate your progress. Be the best version of yourself in 2026. Thanks to our friends over at Auctioner for that. All right, we'll have Dr. Jeremy Burnham coming up here in about 10, 12 minutes. J.D. Piquel with us in half an hour reacting to the college football season that we just settled. I got to talk some Saints, top of hour number 2 as well. I'm going to get to LSU baseball this afternoon. I'm going to go watch them scrimmage at 3:30 today. So I'll have a report on that at LouisianaSports.net in the morning, and I'll talk about it on tomorrow's show. But no developments of note with baseball. That's what we talked about a little bit earlier when folks are clamoring for a little baseball talk in early January. I would like it, but you got to realize that you'll run out of ammo pretty quickly if you continue to talk LSU baseball in the middle of January because nothing's really happening. If I can go out there and observe some things, like I'm going to see who's playing second base today. I'm curious to see who's on the mound today. And I'll just take note of some of the things that I see that are of note. But just kind of going through positional previews, those are going to get pretty stale over the course of 3.5, 4 weeks. So we're going to stay away from too much of that early on. As the calendar clicks to February, we'll start to get that. I'm going to do a whole series previewing every position on LouisianaSports.net as well. So we'll get into some baseball. It's just got to take a little bit of time. For right now, What If Wednesday?
Time, space, reality. It's more than a linear path. Where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities. Follow me and ponder the question, what if?
All right, we're going to start it off with another Jordan. So what if LSU doesn't get Jordan Seaton?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting saga. It's probably something I think most people thought I would lead with. I just don't know if there are a lot of developments to get to. We know that Jordan Seaton was here for a couple of days. We know that he's now gone to Atlanta. We know that Lane Kiffin went to Atlanta to see him. We know that Dan Lanning flew all the way across the country from Oregon to go see him. And it feels like he's trying to make a decision between Oregon, LSU, potentially Miami. And I'm sure there are a lot of factors at play. I don't have an update on that, so I don't know. But if LSU doesn't get him, you're going to plug somebody in at left tackle that is a far less proven commodity than Jordan Seaton. Like, even if Tyree Adams had come back, like, at least you have seen him play left tackle. I've never seen Devin Harper play left tackle in the SEC. Like, I don't think they're going to send Weston Davis over there from right tackle to go play left tackle in the SEC. It's not like you've signed guys with significant left tackle experience. Sean Tompkins played a little bit of that at Baylor, but it would certainly, he's such a linchpin to make the other dominoes fill in. I think if you don't get him, it significantly weakens your potential offensive line. I think LSU's aware of that. I think they're being as aggressive as possible, and I'm encouraged by the fact that Lane Kiffin kept him in Baton Rouge as long as he did, and then got on the plane and went to see him in Atlanta the way they did. Clearly, LSU is making him a priority. Whether or not the dollars and cents work, or whether or not that's what this thing's boiling down to, I'm not sure. And I also don't know about the enrollment into school. I thought that yesterday was the last day to enroll in school, and I don't know if Seaton's done that or not, but he's not in Baton Rouge to the best of my knowledge. So it's an interesting spot. But if LSU does not land him, you weaken that offensive line significantly.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's gonna be a consensus first round pick. So obviously, if you don't bring him into the room, it's gonna be a blow. But I mean, I'm interested to see what Lane does with these pieces he brought in, because it feels like we didn't brought in half. Well, we did 40 plus players. So yeah, we actually did. So what if we get a Sam Darnold versus Jarrett Stidham Super Bowl?
That's pretty weak. I mean, look, Darnold's playing well. I don't mean to disparage him. I'm holding Sam Darnold's first 3 years against him this far into his career. I'm well aware of that. But, you think of the star power. You want to see the dudes in the Super Bowl. And I guess I shouldn't say that, because everybody was sick of seeing Mahomes in the Super Bowl, I guess, and that's as big a star power as you can get. And everybody was that's all we talked about last year in the Super Bowl. Like, everybody's sick of seeing the Chiefs, and that's Mahomes. So I guess maybe that's what people do want to see. I think that both of those teams are led by their defenses, quite obviously. Jarrett Stidham, I mean, that just doesn't seem like a Super Bowl winning quarterback to me. And I'm trying to think about backup quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl. Clearly, Tom Brady to Bledsoe kicked off that entire dynasty, but I can't think of any, like, right off the top of my head that jump out where you had a guy go down. Oh, there you go. That's great. Great call.
I mean, that's all the one I know is Nick Foles.
Great call. And that wasn't this late in the situation. That was in the regular season, so it was obviously Brady. This would be uncharted waters for a backup quarterback to come in and win some playoff games, but Broncos have a good defense, so we'll see. It's a great question, because I don't know that's exactly what I want to see. If you ask me, you can see Darnold versus Stidham, or you can see Hurts Mahomes. I'm probably going to pick that one, but it is what it is. Matt Stafford still out there, so we'll see.
Well, also, if I see this, that means what happened in New England for y'all to lose to Jarrett Stidham? Like, y'all was at home? Well, is it at home?
No, it's at Denver.
Denver? Okay. We'll see. So what if you could ask Brian Kelly one question and get a straight answer?
I think it would be pretty big picture, not exactly like nitty gritty.
Okay.
I think it would be something to the extent of, like, how would you compare your work ethic in 2024 and 2025 to your work ethic in 2012 at Notre Dame? Like, how would you compare those two day-to-day commitment, effort, intensity level? How would you? Okay. And I'm curious to see how he would answer that. I'm assuming any question I ask, I'm going to get the
actual
get the
honest
answer.
Truth. Yeah, you get the God honest truth.
I mean, there are probably more direct questions people would like to ask.
Yeah.
About maybe the firing, or about Matt House, or about anything from or what's the worst hiring decision you made, or any of those.
Yeah.
But I think I want a bigger picture. Like, how did you change as a coach once you got a $100 million contract and you were in your 60s? Like, how does that? Did you still grind it, or were you like?
He didn't.
Because, like, I'm always skeptical of sweeping internet conspiracy theories, and the whole, like, playing golf every day thing never jived. I just don't agree with that, and I feel like there are a lot of LSU fans who have determined, like, Brian Kelly didn't even try. And I'm not suggesting that's impossible. I'm just suggesting I'm not going to say it unless I know it.
Yeah.
And I don't know it. And if I'm going to get a straight answer and I can ask about it and actually get him to tell me, well, yeah, I was on cruise control, then I would go nuts. I would be like, that's ridiculous to get that contract at that job with those expectations and give that effort. It's ridiculous. But I don't know that to be true. So I hesitate to go there when I don't. There are a lot of people that just want to dive in and just throw swords, cast stones, the whole deal. I'm just not wired like that.
Yeah. If I had to ask him, get the God honest truth, my main one would be, what was Nussmeier's injury? And if he wasn't injured, then what were y'all just trying to hide? That's what I really want.
I think I know that. I think he had a strained oblique muscle.
Yeah.
And couldn't throw. And they just took it easy, threw a bunch of screen passes, and it got him through the Clemson game.
Yeah.
But by the time you got to teams that could score and you couldn't throw the ball down the field and your quarterback was hurt and your offensive line wasn't good and your running game was terrible, the whole thing was just a house of cards.
And then my last question to him would be, what were the next 24 hours like after the A&M loss? Like, what was that 24 hours after that loss like for you? I just want to know what the process was, knowing that you knew your seat was on fire. And then, I didn't really see them firing them after that, but we knew something was going to happen. So that's what I don't know. What was those 24 hours
Yeah,
like?
look, that'll be one that I'll remember forever because I've said this after the game was over. I have simply never felt that way in that stadium before.
Yeah.
Watching that fan base.
Yeah. Take over
that stadium was jaw-dropping and gut-wrenching because for so long you had your thumb on them.
Yep.
Like they were just little brother. Now they're technically Texas' little brother, but they were just a non-factor. And they had 15,000 people there. Your whole fan base was gone.
Yeah.
They were playing the Aggie war hymn.
Yeah, that's what that is, the war hymn. What they're doing the sideways.
Just a Confederate. I can't.
Don't go that deep.
It was really bad. It was really bad. And so then that got under people's skins. And then like Woodward made the call. And I remember hearing like before lunch, hey, this could happen. So we got the website. And it's like, okay,
he was ready
this
to go.
is going to happen. Like I'm going to get this story written if it happens with the details that I know about his tenure here and what happened last night and that whole deal. And then I sat there and kind of waited, and you're waiting on the phone, and you're sending text messages, and you're having conversations, and it appeared very conceivable that it was going to happen, and then it did, and it was. I don't think that happens if A&M kicks a field goal at the gun.
Oh,
it was the scene in that stadium to watch that group of people do that in that stadium. That's you can't have it.
And also, he was going ballistic on the sidelines. He was yelling at every coach. I think it was like the special teams coach, and he was like, "You're fired." Well, not reading lists, but he was going hard. He was going hard on Nussmeier. So it was just all that built up, and then we saw what the 56 points looked like.
I'm enjoying the Bayou Ford chat right now. This is completely off topic, but our guy Sven Krusberg says that don't expect LSU to win 8 or 9 games. It's not going to happen. They don't have a quarterback. Scattaboo carried the 2014. Levitt's not any good. Can't throw a 10-yard out route. So that's one way to analyze things.
It's good analysis right there. We need him.
I think we're focusing on one football game as opposed to 2 years of football and just going straight to Starkville.
Yeah.
And you can do that because that's your squad. But it would surprise me if LSU won 7 games next year. He said don't expect 8 or 9, so it's got to be 7 or fewer. It would surprise me if LSU won 7 games.
Listen, you can't find any Ole Miss fan out there that's not talking about that Sam Levin performance against Mississippi State.
Yep.
How can this guy beat Ole Miss and he threw for 30-something yards versus Mississippi State? Oh, man. They love it.
We'll close out the hour with Oxner next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Love telling you about Marucci, based right here in Baton Rouge, formed in a backyard shed in 2004. 22 years later, just over 2 decades later, the official bat of Major League Baseball. That's so cool. You've got a youth baseball team, youth softball team that's got a season coming up. You want to get them together and go do something really fun, really cool, really educational and fascinating. The Marucci Campus Tour is where you need to go. You can watch where they make 1,200 bats every day that they send to the best players in the world to use. And it's right here in Baton Rouge. They've also got cool opportunities to go swing the bats in the cage. Want to take a team to do that? You can do it. They've got your shop as well where you can get all your Marucci gear. It's an incredible opportunity, and it's right here in Baton Rouge. It's truly a gem in our great city. So go see Well, they've been making them since 2004, the official bat of Major League Baseball. It's over at Marucci. You can book those tours at maruccisports.com/campus-tour. Maruccisports.com. Click on the campus tour button at maruccisports.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle it.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Wrapping up hour number one here on this Wednesday, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. You can find them online, builtbyrenaissance.com, builtbyrenaissance.com. Spring is around the corner, summer right there as well. You want to get that pool of your dreams, check them out online, builtbyrenaissance.com. Time now to close out hour number one. We'll do this on Wednesdays. Moving forward is Sports Health, presented by Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Our pleasure to welcome back Dr. Jeremy Burnham. Dr. Burnham, how are you?
Hey, good afternoon. Doing great.
Glad to hear it. I was looking at this online earlier today, and there were some really high-profile ACL injuries in the NFL this past year. Patrick Mahomes, probably chief among them, certainly Micah Parsons, Tyreek Hill, local tie with Malik Neighbors, and that would lend you to think like, oh, I mean, another just awful year for ACL injuries, but the data is suggesting that number may be dropping. What have you seen?
Yeah, I think just perception-wise, I'm with you. You see all these high-profile athletes that have ACL tears. It feels like more people are having ACL tears. I'll tell you, my patients come in and, they're talking about it. They're saying, hey, it's because of the new turf at the stadiums and all those types of things. But when you look at the numbers, on average, in the NFL over the last, say, 10 years, about 50 to 60 people on average have torn their ACLs during the season. And in 2025, that number was 30. So it actually was significantly less. We had less ACL tears this year, but it felt differently. I don't know if it's because it was more high-profile people or because we have more coverage, 24/7 coverage than we used to. But it looks like it's actually a down year, which is a good thing.
Anytime, you slice the number, that's less than one a team, which I would, just off the head without any raw numbers at all, just watching the sport over the years, I would think that would almost be impossible. But is your perception that we're making some advances in terms of preventative care?
I think yes and no. I mean, we see some things that are happening better from a prevention standpoint. We're doing a lot of research at Osher, trying to cut back on ACL tears. Surgical techniques, implants, the things that we use to fix the ACL are getting better. But at the same time, I think if you look at the data just nationwide, the numbers are probably getting higher. There's more sports participation. We look a lot at something called athlete exposure. So not just how many athletes tore their ACL each year, but how many hours were they exposed to? And the athlete exposure hours are going up. And so maybe the ACL tear rate is staying the same in terms of how many hours that you're practicing and playing. But just because people are out there so much more, there are more ACL tears as a whole.
It's interesting. I just mentioned in the last segment that I don't love conspiracy theories. I'm generally one that will push back on them.
I heard that.
But you sent this over, and I'm kind of looking at it going, I got to get your opinion on it because I certainly don't have one. But there's a story about the 49ers moving to Santa Clara. They're adjacent to this Silicon Valley power plant. Could be potentially some issues that are creating with some health. You give me your thoughts on this situation out in Santa Clara.
I mean, look, Hunt, I think I'm with you. I'm not big into internet conspiracy theories, but gosh, it's kind of compelling when you look at it and do a deep dive. I'm not an expert at these electromagnetic fields, but there's certainly some people making some compelling arguments out there. The part that I found was interesting is that this electromagnetic field can be used to improve tendon healing in short, discrete, exposures. But just like anything else in the body, when you have some level of stress that's going on chronically over a long period of time, that actually leads to a breakdown. And so I thought that part made sense to me in terms of what we know about physiology and training and rest and recovery and all that. I have no idea if there's any validity to this. It's all over the internet. It's probably more just related to circumstance and, coincidence that they've had all these injuries. They're playing a sport that's a lot of wear and tear on the body, but there's a lot of people that are putting focus on the electromagnetic field right now.
The internet doesn't miss anything. I can promise you that. They will pick up on it all. What's new at Elite? We've closed the books on football from everybody but except the NFL, but obviously basketball's in full swing now.
That's right. There's a lot going on at Elite. I was just talking to the team over there in terms of 7-on-7 tournaments and indoor soccer and things like that from a sports participation standpoint. Sports are really happening year-round, so we're available year-round with our walk-in clinic, try to take care of people. One thing that a lot of people don't realize about Oshner Baton Rouge is that, we actually have 25 orthopedic clinicians now, and that represents all the different subspecialties from foot and ankle to hand, joint replacement, spine, sports medicine. And so we have specialists in all those different areas that, 5 or 6 years ago we didn't have. And so we've really experienced a lot of growth, but we want to make sure we provide comprehensive care. And we can help patients navigate to the right person. So if you don't know who you need to see, we'll help you figure that out when you come in the door.
Awesome. Great resource. Incredible facility over there on Burbank. It is Elite. Dr. Burnham, we appreciate some time. We'll talk in a couple of weeks.
Talk to you soon, Hunt. Thanks.
Dr. Jeremy Burnham with Ochsner. I want to remind you all at Ochsner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute, we know that sports injuries can be unpredictable. One situation you can protect yourself from is safely returning to play after an injury. It's important to seek care by a sports medicine specialist who is an expert in rehabilitation. Their care plan is going to include building back flexibility, balance, endurance, plus psychological support to get athletes back in the game. To learn more about sports injury prevention and treatment, visit oxford.org/BRortho. Appreciate Dr. Burnham. We're giving some time. I'll be honest. If you asked me 45 minutes ago, when we started the show, 53 minutes ago, how many ACL tears do you think there were in the NFL this year, league-wide? My answer is probably going to be like 75 or 80. Just thinking about, I can't recall an LSU season. Now there are more players on LSU's team than an NFL team, but I can't recall an LSU season that went by without an ACL tear. So for him to say that there were 30 in the NFL for 32 teams, less than one a team, that stuns me personally, because I feel like there's an ACL tear every year.
I'm only stunned because the Saints were relatively
Saints had a good injury year.
I'm about to say, and that's usually the opposite. What the Saints are, their stuff looks like an obituary. So that's why I'm kind of out the loop with everybody else, because my team was healthy for once.
I mean, it was a big year. Like Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Micah
Yeah.
Parsons. Those are three of the biggest 15 names in the sport. And then you add, from a local perspective, like I said, Malik Neighbors to that list. Like, but it just, that's 30 is a pretty low number if you're going to ask me. I think of the NFL right now based on the Bengals the last few years when Burrow was playing, whether he was hurt or their whole offensive line got hurt at one point. Defense was missing some guys. We know the Saints have been just ravaged with injuries for the last 4 years prior to this year. Niners have been awful this year. It just feels like it's a league of attrition.
Yes. Oh yeah, always.
Not everything's an ACL. You've got things that, broken bones and all the stuff that goes into it.
Elbows.
But it's just it's interesting to think that 30 is just way lower than I would have said it. And I would have had no data to go off. I was just like, well, what do you think? Well, I think everybody probably had one, and some teams probably had 3. I'll go 70. And like that just wasn't the case. So
I would have said 50.
Yeah, hopefully they're making some progress there with the ATL preventative measures. We know the folks at Auction are doing a ton of research on that. Appreciate Dr. Burnham for giving us a little bit of time here on this Wednesday. We'll pause for Sports Center national headlines. JD Piquel in 20 minutes. Some Saints talk on some contracts when we come back on the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. FabryChevrolet.com is the website. Under new ownership since October the 1st. So go see him in St. Francisville right there on Highway 61. Same great family, just a different location. Fabry family's been doing Baton Rouge business for 35 years. 3 different locations, 5 different brands. Thrilled to have a Chevy GMC point right there on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. If today's not a great day for you to get in the car and drink that short drive to St. Francisville, how about check them out online? FabryChevrolet.com. The entire inventory is right there online. So whether you're looking for a Chevy Tahoe, Chevy Suburban, maybe a Silverado on the truck side of things, it's there online at FabryChevrolet.com. You can also see the GMC Sierras. The Yukons are hot, and so are the Denali's as well. If you want to take a look at that, FabryChevrolet.com has got you covered there as well. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Make the short drive or check them out at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no 2 cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. 2 days after the surprising firing of Bills head coach Sean McDermott, an explanation of the move by the team's owner, Terry Pegula told reporters he made the decision to move on from McDermott after the AFC divisional round loss to Denver, as he felt the team had hit the proverbial playoff wall, felt the Bills needed a different voice. Leading the search for the next head coach, President of Football Operations GM Brandon Beane. Sirius XM and WGRZ TV Bills reporter Vic Carucci.
So the pressure, I think, is on him for the delivery of success, whatever form it takes. You've got Josh Allen, and you've got a finite window of Josh Allen's ability to lead this team to a Super Bowl. So I would say the clock's ticking hard. As we speak, I'd say the clock ticks loudest for Brandon Beane.
Vic Carucci on Unsportsmanlike. Speaking of Josh Allen, the Bills QB might need right foot surgery soon. It is not expected to impact his availability for OTAs. Baseball, Yankees and outfielder Cody Bellinger agreed on a 5-year, $162 million contract, reports ESPN's Jeff Passan. The deal includes a full no-trade clause.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Thursday, we know Fernando Mendoza will be the #1 pick in the draft, but just how long will it take for Mendoza and the Raiders to have success? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show. This is a catastrophe. You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Hour 2, Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, officially working towards the weekend. Half the work week in the rearview mirror. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. I'm frantically looking at the weather here. It looks okay. Just trying to get out to the box and watch a little bit of baseball.
Oh, it's going to be nasty.
Could be a little bit of weather coming in here in the next hour or so, but I'm trying to get over there for a 3:30 first pitch. We'll see how that shakes out over the course of the rest of the afternoon. We'll talk to JD Pickell in 15 minutes to recap the college football season. I might touch on what we saw last night at the O-Dome later on in the hour, but we're going to talk some Saints right now. First, great news from the New Orleans Saints earlier today. If you missed this, the Saints not upping season ticket charges this year. So if you are a black and gold season ticket holder, you're feeling like, all right, we got a good team. I'm sure they're going to gouge us with some pricing here. Nope, they're keeping them flat over there at the Dome. So good news for Saints season ticket holders for this coming fall. But let's talk about who they're going to be paying to see this coming fall. There are some decisions that have to be made with some extensions or re-signings from the roster in 2025. Probably the most interesting one is Alontae Taylor. Alontae Taylor was a high draft choice, has played a lot for the Saints, and it's been a mixed bag. But he becomes a free agent, and the Saints view Alontae Taylor as a slot corner, a nickelback, a star, however you want to term that. I believe Brandon Staley calls it a star, but you get the point. He plays on the inside. And that's what they see his role as in their defense. That doesn't pay as well as an outside corner. But Alontae Taylor has not proven himself to be a great outside corner. So the question is, can the Saints get him back to play his role in that slot role? And I think the answer lies in, does anybody else in the league view him as a real option on the outside? Because if so, they're going to probably offer more money than the Saints to Alontae Taylor. He's a free agent. If somebody says, we need a second cornerback, you're our guy. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to call Alontae Taylor, say, hey, you're a lockdown number one. You're lining up across from Puka Nacua. You're lining up across from Justin Jefferson. You're lining up across from Jamar Chase. You got the number one dudes. You're our guy. Like, I don't think anyone is saying that to him. But a second corner, it's possible. And a second corner is going to make more than a nickelback. And Alontae Taylor will probably take that if it comes available. Just a question of whether or not it will. And my assumption on that is that someone will. There are a lot of teams in the NFL. And it just takes one. It takes one to come in and say, yeah, we'd like you to be our second corner. So I think for that reason, it's less likely Alontae Taylor is back with the Saints. I'm leaving that door open, certainly. I think the Saints would like to have him back in that role if they can make the dollars and cents work. But they're not going to go into a bidding war with somebody who's planning on putting Alontae Taylor on the outside, and I don't think they're planning on putting him on the outside. So that's where the rubber meets the road on this deal with Alontae Taylor. I think there's a good chance he leaves New Orleans. Chris Olave would be an extension, and I believe that is going to happen this year. They don't have to, but I think that they will. And I have given that a lot of thought. I've done a couple of segments on it. Because of the way that he played late in the season, because I believe the Saints will use an early draft pick, first, second, or third round, on a wide receiver option, because Devon Vele is cheap, because Ja'Kai Polk is cheap, I think they're going to extend him, and I think it's going to border $30 million annually. So I'm okay with it, because as I've said many times, and I'm not going to rehash it too deeply because I've done it a bunch of times, I look at this not as, are you paying Olave as a one? I look at it as, what is my receiver room making? If Olave is making 30, but Polk and Vele and Tipton or whoever else down the line is making so little that if I average all those together, it comes out to be a lot more reasonable than whatever the Bengals decided to do. That's okay. I think Chris Olave will get a contract extension this offseason. I believe he will be back. Cam Jordan, we've talked about him. You going to pay him like a 35-year-old? Or are you going to pay him like a guy that just had 10.5 sacks? He's both, but those two things don't pay the same. Now, there's an assumption that because Cam Jordan kind of took a hometown deal, a sweetheart deal last time, that he won't do that this time. This is his last chance to sign a contract of any significance. Certainly his last chance to get a multi-year deal. Is he going to chase a few extra bucks? Or will he come back to the Saints for a little bit less? He's made it known. He likes it in New Orleans. He wants to be in New Orleans. He wants to be a lifelong Saint. He's going to be a Saints Hall of Famer the first day he's eligible for that. And he's probably a Pro Football Hall of Famer based on what he has now accomplished, passing the people that he passed this year, accumulating those 10.5 more sacks. I am not one for lifetime achievement contracts. I'm paying guys for what they're doing on the field, not what they did on the field. So if Cam Jordan wants to make a backup edge rusher salary behind Chase Young and behind Carl Granderson, I am 100% on board with him, with the understanding that I don't expect him to get 10.5 sacks this year. I think a more realistic sack total for Cam Jordan next year is closer to 5. So I will pay him like a 35 to 36-year-old guy who's going to play on third downs and on some first downs and as a reserve. And I'm going to pay him what that garners. And if that's not acceptable to him or somebody wants to give him bigger money than that, I'm not going to pay Cam Jordan more than I would like to because he got a lot of sacks in 2018. Just not doing it. So I think Cam Jordan will be back. I think the Saints will make the money work, but I'd be careful overextending things with Cam Jordan. Basically the same thing goes for Demario Davis, although I'm willing to suggest Demario Davis is going to go over 100 tackles again next year because Demario Davis always goes over 100 tackles. Demario Davis never saw the dip in production that Cam Jordan saw the 3 years prior to this year. Demario Davis is awesome every year. Demario Davis is the centerpiece of that defense. He's the captain of that defense. He helps set the culture in the organization. And I believe Demario Davis will help you win more than Cam Jordan will help you win in 2026. So, no, I'm not going crazy. I'm not giving a 4-year deal here. But, yeah, I want Demario Davis back. Pay the man. You can pay Demario Davis a 2-year deal that looks like Pro Bowler money for all I care. I think he is that durable, that productive. He's not the exact same player he once was, but I'm okay I'm okay taking on Demario Davis for a year or two. You want to do a 2-year deal and front load it on the front so it doesn't hurt you too bad in 2028? Fine. You want to just do a 1-year deal? Fine. I think that you should bring Demario Davis back. So I'm a little bit more adamant on that one than I am on Cam Jordan. And the last one that Ross Jackson writes about here on LouisianaSports.net as far as extensions, re-signings, and the like is Luke Fortner. Eric McCoy is a massive injury risk. And he got hurt in 2024, and the Saints could not replace him. And he got hurt in 2025, and Luke Fortner stepped in and helped. And I think you've got to have an insurance policy for Eric McCoy because that's 2 years in a row you've lost him for the season. So I think Luke Fortner makes a lot of sense. He knows Kellen Moore's offense. He's comfortable with Tyler Shuck. He helped shepherd him into those wins late in the year. He's a veteran. He's a proven commodity. Yes, you find a way to keep Luke Fortner because if anything has been established by the New Orleans Saints over the course of the last 2 to 3 seasons is that you better have depth at the offensive line that can come in and help. They couldn't keep up with all the injuries 2 years ago, and they lost their best offensive lineman this year, and they still won some games. And I think Fortner deserves some credit for that. Not all the credit for that. Your backup center didn't carry the team. I don't mean to put it in that terms. But he was good. So I would get him back for sure. The last one that Ross writes about is Taysom Hill. I just simply can't fathom the Saints spending any sort of significant money on Taysom Hill, really any money at all. He's not the player he once was. Great Saint, great teammate, incredible career, but that time's passed. It was ineffective early in the season when they continued to force it. And finally, when they leaned back and weren't adamant that Taysom Hill needed to be taking a ton of red zone snaps and third down snaps, the offense was better. Tyler Shuck was productive. He showed he can run a little bit. Like, Taysom Hill's a no-go for me almost at any price. That doesn't denigrate at all what he did as a Saint for so many years. But again, I'm not giving lifetime achievement contracts out here. I'm giving production in 2026 contracts out here. Taysom Hill does not qualify for. So for me, Lante Taylor, I think it's a good chance he moves on. Pay Chris Olave is $28 million, $30 million a year. Lock him up. Cam Jordan, at the right price, come on back. Want to go crazy with those 10.5 sacks? Sorry, not going to go nuts here. Demario Davis, pay the man, bring him in. Probably going to be a Pro Bowler. And then Luke Fortner, bring him in, add that depth in the interior of offensive line. I'm all for that. Taysom Hill, no thanks. That's my thought. Ross has a piece up at LouisianaSports.net, kind of details all those situations, but those are my thoughts on it. If you want my thoughts on the Saints every day, you can find it at Hunt on Saints. That's Hunt on Saints. Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Come back with J.D. Pickell next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com. It's just a fun way to approach golf. If the only golf you've ever played was out in a Baton Rouge area course and it's 100 degrees most of the year and it's 5 hours, it's a difficult game, feel like you're holding up the course or the course is holding you up, there's another way. It's not the exact same. I would never purport that. But it's really fun. I'm an avid golfer. I love to play golf outside at courses all over Baton Rouge. But I also love the simulator golf. You get a group of buddies, you go in, get a personal bay, you can crank up the tunes, whatever you want to listen to, watch some sports on TV. They got comfortable seating options. They'll bring you out a bucket of beer on ice. And then you turn on Pebble Beach. You turn on Bethpage Black, TPC Sawgrass. It's just a ton of fun, a different way to approach golf. If you've never done it before and you're interested, go by and see them on Segan at Perkins. It's Swing Easy Golf Club. They're online at swingeasygcbr.com. Just walk in, grab a tee time, grab a bay. Swing Easy Golf Club here in Baton Rouge.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Lock Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Every August, I fire off a text message to my guy, JD McKelly, ready to start up weekly, and he's, generally speaking, very fired up to do so. And then the end of January rolls around, and it's time to put a little college football season in the rearview mirror. But we got to do it one more time with our guy, JD McKelly from On3. Joins us now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. JD, how we doing?
You know, it's kind of like whenever you watch the end of a good movie. You know the credits are about to roll, and you're savoring every last moment of it, all the dialogue, all the character development that I like to think has gone on over the course of this season for myself. But man, pleasure to be on with you one more time to put a bow on this thing.
Let's do it. I know you were down in Miami. Set the scene for me. What did it look like there, South Beach and South Beach adjacent, as Miami was playing quote unquote home game, but Indiana invaded?
You know, it was buzzing. Put in a word. It was buzzing. You know, I've been very fortunate to be able to cover 4 national title games since coming to On3. And that, to me, felt like the most electric atmosphere in the pregame. And I will say this, too. Like you mentioned, Indiana invaded. I thought it was like right around 60-65% Hoosiers in that stadium.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a thing where, it's a Miami home game, home team shows up and shows out with their home crowd. It was like a bunch of Hoosiers that were genuinely psyched to have their team playing for a national championship for the first time in all their lifetimes. And the game, I thought, matched the pregame energy in itself. So very cool to be down there, and the atmosphere lived up to the game itself.
What was the general vibe with the Hoosier fans? Like disbelief, anxiousness? Like how would you put that into words?
I think joyful
Yeah.
is like the best way to like sum it up, which feels sort of obvious, but like I was walking through the Fort Lauderdale airport the following morning, and it was just like, it was almost like everyone had been to the same party, and you're like recounting fun stories from the party. Like I was in between this family, or 2 families rather, from Indiana that were making their trip back home the following morning, and they're like sharing pictures of like their their children that are Indiana students that wanted to be in Bloomington for the national title game, and stuff's on fire on the main street. And just like, it was, I don't want to say it was disbelief, because I do think they went to that game expecting to win, but it was almost a sense of like, wow, how cool is this? Like, savoring every moment. I think in sports, we're very quick to move on to the next season. Hey, can we do it again? Like, I remember so often hearing Nick Saban after a national championship talk about, well, we're behind now. Well, we got to go. We got to, go recruit tomorrow. And it's like, I didn't feel that same sense of hurry in the moment for these Hoosier fans. I think they were soaking in every moment of it, and it was very cool to vicariously live through them in that way.
Was there ever a moment when you're there in the stadium that you thought Miami was going to win the game?
No, not in the stadium itself. No, I will say this: I thought Indiana was going to win and cover. That thought became a lot less confident after going to media days. Because, I mean, you hear about how big Miami is, and you see it on a roster, but standing next to Ruben Bain, seeing Mawanoa, the refrigerator that he is, standing head and shoulders above everybody else, it really put a different sense into, oh, it's not just hype. Oh, it's not just a fun talking point for folks with a microphone like us that get to riff about this stuff all day long and call it a job. It was genuinely a thing where it was a stark contrast from seeing Miami size to Indiana size. So in that way, I was like, hey, it may not be as definitive as I thought it would be for Indiana, but really the entire script always felt like it was building for a Hoosier win. And even when Miami made it a little bit more interesting, there was zero part of me that thought Fernando Mendoza was going to make the mistake to give the game away for Indiana, which is ultimately what would have needed to happen for that to be the case. And wouldn't you know it, the Hoosier get it done.
I was talking before the game kicked off really about the NFL playoffs and the way that they were doing things there, and how no one wants to kick field goals in the red zone. Everybody's going for fourth downs, and Cignetti had a 4th and 4 staring right in the face, and he decided to go for it with that quarterback draw. Did you like the decision to go for it? Did you like the call? It obviously worked, but did you like it?
Yeah, I may be the wrong person to ask in this situation, Hunt, because I swing so far towards the idea of, like, I love going for every fourth down that's inside of like 7 yards. So maybe that's just me. Maybe that's the Madden player in me. I don't know. I love what it says to a football team of, hey, we trust you to go get this freaking first down. And if you don't get it, we trust our defense to take care of business. Now, that's probably poor coaching advice, but I've always had an issue with the hindsight 2020 take of how people treat fourth downs. Like, Dan Lanning gets a lot of this. They went for it multiple times on fourth down in a regular season game in 2023 against Washington, and it caused them to end up, losing that game. That was the difference. And the thing is, if they get one of those fourth downs, Oregon wins, and Dan Lanning's gritty and is a player's coach and has belief in his guys, he's rolling the dice, and I'm like, you can't like that and love that in a head coach and also be super critical when you go for it on fourth down and don't get it. So that's a long way to say I loved it from Cignetti. I think it's been their personality all year long to be a go-for-the-throat kind of team, and I loved him having the edge and the confidence to stay with that in the biggest moment of the game.
You buying stock in Mario Cristobal's Miami program moving forward?
I am, man. Now, I will say there's an asterisk there of, can we go get another quarterback again? How repeatable is that? But I think when you look at what wins in modern college football, Miami checks a lot of those boxes, like trench warfare. Okay, big human beings. I think Miami's always going to have that as long as a former offensive lineman is your head coach. Resources to go acquire the best roster. I think Miami has that in spades. I think what made the biggest step forward for Miami this year, in my assessment, was the overall culture, which is a buzzword in college football. I understand that, but I do think now the maturity of this football team to continue to push forward and not waver to the outside noise after you drop a second one to SMU, a team you were favored by double-digit points. To be able to maintain the main thing and to be able to push forward in the college football playoff and not have any letdown, that to me just said a lot about the buy-in that Cristobal has created. And it could graduate with Mawanoa and Bay and all those guys, but I'd be shocked if that was a thing that just totally up and left the building in Coral Gables. I think the way he's built that culture from the ground up, from where he got there to now being in year 4 after his second 10-win season, I think that's something we can depend on. Paired with everything else, I think the Canes are going to be a fixture in the national landscape here, relevant for the right reasons for a long time.
This is going to take me a second to get to, but bear with me because it was my point after the game was over. Like, I've worked under the assumption, as an LSU fan and someone who pulls for a team that plays in these things a significant amount, like, I've always thought, okay, there are about 13 teams that can do this. It's Ohio State and Clemson and Bama and Georgia and LSU and Florida and Texas and Michigan and Clemson. Like, you get the point. Like, everybody else, you don't have a shot. You haven't had a shot my whole life, and you don't have a shot. And now Indiana's knocked this door down. Like, in the next 15 years, are we going to be looking at Mississippi State and Arizona State and Cal and Boston College? Like, are we going to see a couple more of these? Not every year. And Ohio State's going to win another national championship here soon, and Kirby Smart will get another one. But, like, is this story going to replicate over the next 15 years, or is this just Cignetti and catching lightning in a bottle?
I think the room gets bigger. I don't think the door is open for everyone to enter the room, if that makes sense. Like, I think what gets lost in the sauce of Indiana is, like, they weren't just this good story of, you know, under-talented guys that came together for a common goal and found a way to win. It was like, no, they still got the number one overall pick in you know, the NFL draft playing quarterback. They still got a bunch of NFL players on the defensive side of the ball that, you know, maybe not first-round guys, but will still get drafted. I think the biggest takeaway for me, to your point of this whole situation with, like, how to win a national title now if you're not one of those 13 teams you spoke to, a blue blood, quote-unquote, I think there is one Curt Cignetti in existence. I don't think anyone is hiring the next Curt Cignetti. But I do think you can kind of moneyball your way to this thing and recreate Cignetti in the aggregate, where you hire a coach who's about the right thing. But if it's me, I am pouring every dollar I have available into building a personnel department to go find the guys that Indiana had on their roster at JMU that were old, experienced, have production, all those things, because I think that's going to matter a lot in this expanded playoff world. So do we see, you know, do we see a bunch of these other schools jump into the mix and be as relevant as before? I think the door's more open to it. But to my point again, I think the price of admission is the same. Of you got to have resources to do it, and you got to have the right head coach, which I think is a lot more easy to say out loud than to actually find in reality.
How do you feel about the state? I think I asked you this last week, but now that Indiana's won it, like, and now you've looked over at Duke suing its own quarterback, and we had the Washington LSU tampering thing. I'm like, there are some things that are bad. It's bad when an ACC school is suing its own quarterback. But, like, as far as opening the door to more teams, and as far as other teams having a chance to make runs like this, and the playoff getting bigger, and all these kinds of things, like, are we in a good spot right now?
I think we're in a transitional spot, which it feels like we've been in a transitional spot for the last 5 years. And I mean, my take on it is it's kind of like a road trip. Like, are you going to make the most of a road trip, get some snacks, have a good combo, and crank the music, and just kind of enjoy the ride? Or is it like, we're not where we're supposed to be yet, this sucks? And I think your angle on that in college football is kind of what you make of it. I think there's also things that, to your point, like, it's very black and white. Hey, a legal dispute between a school that just won a conference title and their quarterback is in and of itself a bad thing. You know, that nobody's disputing that. But I do think if you are trying to find the positive in this, like, college football is still awesome. College football, the quality of the product when it comes to the caliber of play, I think is as good as it's ever been. I was anti-12-team playoff. I think 12-team playoff has been phenomenal so far, just in terms of the product itself, and the impact it's even had on the regular season, or lack thereof, has been lesser than I thought it would. College football is not at its final spot for the next 20 years, but it's transitional. And again, what you take of that is, I think, your own prerogative and perspective on the things that are up for interpretation, which of course is not the legal dispute between Duke and Darian Mensa, but I digress.
That's it. JD, always a pleasure to chat with you. Appreciate you jumping aboard all year long. We won't wait until until media days. We'll do it again in the spring. We'll certainly see it at media days, and we'll crank it up next year.
I'm not hanging up. You're gonna have to hang up. I'm not hanging up.
It's gonna have to be Jordan. I don't have the capabilities.
Appreciate you in all seriousness. Phenomenal season. It's one of the best parts of my week. So thanks for having me on, brother. Have a great one.
You too, man. JD Piquel, host of the Hard Count, catches college football content all year round on 3, wherever you find your podcast. Appreciate him on Wednesdays. Moving forward, our Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. They're online at builtbyrenaissance.com. Looking to get in the pool of your dreams? You can do it. Outdoor kitchen of your dreams? You can do it. Renaissance Homes and Pools can help you out with that. All right, let's step aside. When we come back, 2 things. There is a wild ruling here involving an Alabama basketball player that we're going to get to, and may touch on a little LSU in Florida from last night as well. Don't go anywhere. It's on Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust cranked things up in 1910. Still here 116 years later as we're here in 2026, and they've grown grown to 25 locations throughout the southeastern part of our state of Louisiana. And how do you do that? Well, you hire the right people, and they do that at First American Bank and Trust. Their management averages 25 years with the bank. It's people that are in your community, that care about the community and the people in it. So when you're looking for a commercial loan, when you're looking for a residential loan, deal with people that care about you, that care about the community. Deal with First American Bank and Trust. And when I say that, it sounds like it's a mom and pop feeling. Like, oh, well, do they have what I need to secure the funding I need? They do. They got 25 locations. That's how they've grown to that size. So when you have a loan and that decision's being made, it's not being made in Atlanta or Seattle, it's being made right here in Southeast Louisiana. Do business with the folks at First American Bank and Trust. 25 locations throughout Southeastern Louisiana, 116 years in business. It's First American Bank and Trust.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel?
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Big shout out to my guys at the Highland Insurance Group, Jonathan Carbo and his team. Just awesome folks to work with in the insurance game. You know, this is going to be a situation in probably mostly North Louisiana where insurance may be a factor. You got an ice storm that's rolling through, so it's just a reminder. Not only is it just hurricane season around here where significant weather events can happen, there may be one over the weekend. If you don't have the proper insurance, you might not like the result of what happens. So if you're always just looking at premium, well, you may not be in a great situation when that uncovered claim happens. If you're a business owner, you haven't looked at your property policy, not sure what it says, what it covers you for, what's the deal with ice? What's the deal if the power's out for 2 weeks? Well, do you know? If you don't know, it's an uncomfortable feeling when the power does go out for 2 weeks. Now you got to go back and read your insurance policy or call your broker. At the Howard Insurance Group, they're going to take care of you in terms of your premium. They're going to make sure that you're placed in the right spot. They're an independent broker. They've got contracts with dozens of carriers, but they're also going to make sure your coverage reads properly so that when something does happen, the carrier responds. That's their promise to you at the Howard Insurance Group. Check them out online at highlandig.com. That's highlandig.com. All right, a ruling coming out in Tuscaloosa regarding Charles Bediako. I'm imagining most of you that watch SEC basketball, that watch LSU basketball, are at least aware of Charles Bediako. He played at Alabama in 2021-22 and 22-23. After that season, 22-23, that was the Brandon Miller Alabama team that was the number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. He was on that team. And he left for the NBA draft after his second season at Alabama. That was in the spring of 2023. It is now 2026. He was undrafted. And he has since signed contracts with 3 different NBA G League teams. But he hasn't reached the NBA. So Charles Bediako, nearly 2 years after walking off the floor for Alabama the final time, is suing for the right to go play for Alabama again. He's played for 3 G League teams in the professional ranks. He's suing to come back to play at Alabama. And he won. There's been a temporary restraining order filed. He's eligible. Courts can't hold him away from it. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. And clearly, my opinions are unconstitutional and not worth discussion. And for the purposes of this conversation, I'm not talking about the Constitution. I'm talking about common sense. You're going to allow a player to enroll at Alabama in 2021, play 2 seasons, declare for the NBA draft, sign a professional contract, play a professional season with the G League, sign a different contract, play half a season with the G League, and then in the middle of that season, keep in mind, Charles Bediako played in the G League last week. Last week, he played in the G League. But the G League doesn't pay as much as college basketball. So now, I'm going back. They've all got agents. They all get paid. It's the same thing. And I tell you all this all the time. We go through this personality test here at Guarantee where you are assigned a number on the Enneagram scale 1 through 9. Mine's a 9. One of the attributes of a 9 is that I am inclined to look at things from both perspectives. And I can absolutely jump on the other side of this issue from where I currently sit and have that argument. I can go, okay, well, he enrolled as a freshman in 2021. This would be his senior year. So he's still within the window. He's not reached an age that is inappropriate. He's still in your 5-year window to play. You're paying these guys. They're not amateurs anymore. He was just playing for another team. Now he's coming back, and there are no transfer rules that say you can't transfer from the Cedar Rapids whatevers to the Alabama Crimson Tide. You can't transfer from the Alabama Crimson Tide to the Kentucky Wildcats, but there's no rule about the Cedar Rapids team to Alabama. What's it hurting? Let the guys earn. Let them get theirs. I can make the argument. You can't hold someone back from their earning potential. You've already determined the guys can get money. They can get money in high school, they can get money in college, get money in the G League, just send them back. I can make that argument, and nothing you can say to me refutes it either legally or in any sort of written rule. And that's why he's gotten the temporary restraining order, and he's going to go back and do it. But the NCAA is saying, look, if you signed a professional contract, you cannot come back and play. But you'll find an attorney, probably Tom Mars, who will come back and go, huh? They're all signing professional contracts all the time. Every football player in America just signed a professional contract. You can't say that. And, I can sit here and make that argument. It's completely in bad faith, but I can make it. Common sense should reign in some capacity here. You come to school, you play for the school team. When you leave the school, you're done with the school team. When you go to the professional ranks, your time with the school teams is over. That's a simple thing. And I just do not believe that I am withholding some sort of right from Charles Bediako when I say, Charles, you came to school, you signed a scholarship, you played for 2 years, you declared you were going to go play in the NBA, you've gone to the NBA, you're not going back to school anymore. I'm not taking baseball players from AA. I'm not taking football players from the XFL. I'm not taking college basketball players from the G League. I'm not doing it. Once you have passed the level, you're not going back. You're just not. And I don't have a law on my side. I'm just suggesting this is a common sense way to do business. What do I care if Charles Bediako comes back and plays? Is it going to ruin LSU's season? I don't think so. I don't want Nate Oates to win anything. Nate Oates is the coach in the SEC that I like the least. You tell my coach to get the blank out of here, I'm probably not going to forgive you forever. And I won't with Nate Oates. That's unreasonable. That's petty. That's foolish. It's small. It's how I feel. But this is absurd. And I talked about absurdities yesterday, and I'm talking about absurdities now. And once again, Charles Bediako being ruled eligible to go play in whatever game he plays in, whether it's today or Saturday or next week, or Charles Bediako returning to action is not going to make me not watch the NCAA tournament. It's not going to make me care less about LSU basketball. It's not going to ruin anything for me. I'm not making that claim. There are a lot of people who are diehard LSU fans that will stand up and say, this stupid portal, NIL stuff, this lawsuit, that lawsuit, that, this is so dumb, I can't watch anymore. And maybe you can't, but my assumption is that you probably do. There may be some of you that have completely bailed. You probably don't listen to the show anymore if you have, and more power to you. Do whatever you want. But I'm never going to claim that. As long as the purple and gold laundry runs out of the tunnel in Tiger Stadium and the tunnel in the PMAC and comes out of the dugout at the box, I'm in. It's just the way I'm wired. It's the way it's going to be. I'm in. But I can still, as emotionally invested as I am in that product, and as awesome as going to the Sugar Bowl was, and as great as Indiana winning the national championship was in terms of seeing history, I can still look at individual situations like Charles Bediako, 2 years removed from forfeiting his eligibility to go play professional basketball, coming back to play for the school he played for. It's like Billy Madison takes on SEC basketball. It's absurd. And I know that college athletes are getting paid $1 bajillion. And to come back and get $1 bajillion is a good thing. You gave up your chance to get the $1 bajillion when you decided to go play, and you didn't even get drafted. It was a bad life decision. You screwed up. You're still 7 feet tall. You still block a lot of shots. Go play overseas. That's your option. Or hang out in the G League. Get better. Make the Pacers. They pay pretty well. But this whole deal where we're declaring for the draft, we're not getting drafted, then we're going to the G League, then we're coming back. No, that's not how this thing works. And I, again, do not have a rule to back myself up. I don't have a law to back myself up. I'm going off common sense. And something I said yesterday, I'm willing to go into a debate without written word that's going to back me up. Because clearly the NCAA's rule that says if you sign a professional contract, you can't come back, doesn't hold any water because it's happening. So I don't have any written word on my side. I have common sense. And I'm willing to go to battle with that. We have abandoned common sense. All for the chase of the dollar. All of it. And that part creates silliness, foolishness, ridiculousness. Not going to affect the way I cheer for LSU one bit. But I can still call it what it is. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous for Charles Bediako to file suit and get a temporary restraining order and go play for Alabama 2 years after he left. It's absurd. All right, we'll come back and close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Looking for a custom closet? David Duvall and his team can do it. Never thought much about closet space? It is a game changer. I never thought about closet space. Our previous house, awful closet situation. We prioritized closet situation when we moved to our new house. We're thrilled. Got a great closet space. My wife and I can share it. Not jamming things in closets in the hallway like we were. Not putting stuff in the attic we forget about. Don't have coats down the hall. Everything's there. And you can have that in your home without moving if you call David Duvall in One Bath and Closet. It starts with a questionnaire. He'll ask you what you've got, what you might look for, and they may build you a brand new closet. They can do that. They may just say, hey, we can use this space a little bit more efficiently. Here's some things we can put into your closet to make your life simpler. Remove all the clutter. Make a change in 2026. Get into that brand new custom closet. It's One Bath and Closets. You can find them online at onebathandclosets.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays, a $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $100.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Shout out to Renaissance Homes and Pools. They bring you our Wednesday shows every single week. Go to builtbyrenaissance.com, put your contact information in there. Joey Blanchard will reach out. You can have that sit-down consultation. Talk about the pool of your dreams. The software that they've got over there at Renaissance Homes and Pools is phenomenal. To scale, can customize that pool exactly what it's going to look like. Whether you've got an idea of exactly what you want or have no clue where to start, Joey Blanchard can help you out at Renaissance Homes and Pools. He also loves doing outdoor kitchens for people as well. So if you're looking to create that outdoor entertaining space, outdoor hangout space for your family in the spring, summer, and let's call it fall too, this part of the world, Renaissance Homes and Pools can help you out with it. Check them out online at builtbyrenaissance.com. I just saw a really cool tweet that was scrolling my feed in the break. If you remember in the national championship game, Kadarius Toney caught a ball really close to the goal line on a punt, like inside the 5. And he got tackled around the 8, and then 4 plays later, the block punt that resulted in a touchdown. It was a huge sequence in the game. You're going, why would he catch a punt there? They showed the All-22, and Miami's blocker on the other side peeled off, and Toney was going to throw him the ball.
Oh, wow.
And the seas had parted. He was going to have a huge play on the other side of the field, but the Indiana punt was so good and so deep and so angled and so high, he didn't have time to catch it and turn around and throw it.
Oh.
So he probably smartly, he should have let it go, but he wanted to try to make the play and then probably smartly didn't force the throw. And he got tackled at the 6 or whatever it was. But the All-22 clearly shows the Miami blocker peels and he's on the other side of the field. He had a lot of real estate.
Wow.
And then 4 plays later, punt block. Like, how big a play is that?
That just goes to show, man, that this football stuff, it's literally just like that.
Do
just
little
like
things
that.
well. Do little things well. Speaking of little things, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, let's start it off with Opelousas native Keon Coleman. So the Buffalo Bills wide receiver was kind of an unexpected scapegoat today in the exit meeting as they were explaining the decision to let go of Sean McDermott. Brandon Beane, the general manager, fielded a question about not getting enough help at receiver, including drafting Coleman, where the owner, Terry Pagula, interrupted and said, "Can I interrupt? The coaching staff pushed to draft Coleman. That was Brandon was being a team player." So he basically was saying the old coaching staff, they drafted Coleman, not this guy. So what's going on in Buffalo? Take it or leave it, I guess?
I'm going to leave that. There's just no reason to do that. Like, there's just no, and theoretically, you are defending your general manager so that the fan base doesn't get mad at the general manager.
Yes.
But is that worth upsetting some people in the locker room? Like, no. So just here, how about this? And it drives me nuts. People can't handle press conferences, but whatever. They're so easy. Just say, look, we had a coaching staff here that did a really good job, won a lot of games, and made some great decisions and made some questionable decisions. Part of that is in the draft. And, obviously, we didn't necessarily put together a good enough plan at wide receiver, and that's something we're going to look to get better at in the future. It's criminally easy to answer these questions. And we've got to do personal vendettas. We've got to do personal attacks. We've got to throw people under the bus. It just doesn't help. Public relations is so easy, but people just can't help themselves.
Oh, that was good, huh? That was good PR right there. That was on the spot, too. That was beautiful. So, all
ridiculous.
Right. Joe Mixon's status for next season remains uncertain. You remember Joe Mixon, right?
Of course I do.
Feel like we don't hear about him anymore. So the Texas running back missed all of this season, what General Nick Cassero called a freak foot injury in their little Wednesday present. Whatever, they're getting out of here. He said that we haven't seen Joe in a little bit, so I think at some point in time we'll see him. We'll be able to evaluate any kind of his foot situation. So Joe Mixon time in Houston over with. Take it or leave it.
Tough to know. I'll leave it. They could bring. I think he's still a pretty talented back, but again, you come off a year where you don't play. Who knows? He was a good player for the Bengals. Obviously, that was when they were winning a lot of games. Yeah. I was watching a lot of Joe Mixon, and they decided to move on from him. And their offensive line's just been terrible ever since. But talented dude, guy that's gotten some second chances and has run for a lot of yards. But who knows exactly what the Texans are thinking?
And when you're in a situation like this,
they got to worry about quarterback is what they got to do.
Oh, yeah, you got to pay him at this point. You're kind of handcuffed. So speaking of a guy missing a whole season with some weird injury after missing the entire 2025 season, another guy, San Francisco 49er wide receiver Brandon Ayuk time in the Bay is coming to an end. As general manager Joe Lynch said today at again their little meetings, it's safe to say that he's played his last game as a Niner. Speaking about Ayuk, who just recently signed a 4-year, $120 million contract extension with the Niners in 2024. So weird situation in San Francisco. Take it or leave it.
I mean, take it.
I'll
It's a
take
guy
it.
they spent some cash on. It was such a great roster, and now it feels like there's some potential cracks in the foundation there. I mean, that was eye-opening this weekend. To go absolutely get annihilated by somebody in your division is a tough look. They've got some things they got to handle. I still think Purdy's pretty good. Obviously, Shanahan's good. They'll be able to put something together with or without Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk on a lot of Jaden Daniels Arizona State highlight tapes from days gone by. But yeah, somebody will pick him up. Somebody will take on that contract and put him in there because he's been a really productive player. But the 49ers probably got some decisions making. Like one of the the deal is Christian McCaffrey's getting up there.
Yeah,
So
he's a
it is
running
what it
back
is.
too, though. So you got to deal with that, and you got Kittle tearing his Achilles in the
he's
playoffs. So you're not looking at him next year either.
drinking tequila in the locker room. Did you see that?
Oh no, I did, and I mean, you got a torn Achilles. We just won a playoff game. Let me let that
Send
pain
it on
off.
down.
Yeah,
Send it on down.
so that's it for Take It or Leave It.
All right. That's it for Take It or Leave It on this Wednesday. I'm very much looking forward to heading out to the box. I'm going to watch a little baseball this afternoon. I'll have a full report on what I saw on LouisianaSports.net tomorrow morning. We'll talk about it on the show tomorrow as well. And we got to get to some Saints and more portal stuff. If anything in the portal breaks over the course of the next 3 hours, certainly Matt will have you, but wherever it does break, we'll have it at LouisianaSports.net. Still on Seat and Watch. I don't have anything new on that. We'll see. Something's got to happen. Something's got to give because somebody's got to enroll in school. So we'll see. We're done here on this Wednesday. Matt will drive you home from Houston on After Further Review. We're back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It'll be for a Thursday edition of The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. It's a new year. How about a new ride, right? How about a Chevy Tahoe? They got it. How about a Chevy Suburban? They got it. How about a Silverado? You're looking for a truck? They got them. Of course, on the GMC side, they've got the Sierras, they got the Yukons, Denali's as well. They're all there on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. You can also check out the entire inventory online at FabryChevrolet.com. You know the Fabry family. They've been at this for 35 years, 3 different locations, 5 different brands. You know you're going to get wonderful customer service. You know you're going to get great service after the sale. It's going to be a pleasant buying experience because that's what they've given you for better than 3 decades here in Baton Rouge. They're thrilled to have this new location on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. They took over ownership on October 1st. Go by and see them. Make the short drive to St. Francisville or find them at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride